Good morning, Code Stars. You are tuned into WLLC News. I'm Ben. Today is Friday, January 15th, 2021.
Hi, I'm Samanvi, and now for the weather. The next cold front will shift through the area this evening into tonight, perhaps bringing it with a few showers and windy conditions Saturday.
Hi, I'm Misri. We would like to recognize all of the birthdays that have occurred this week. Happy birthday to you!
Hi, I'm Sarah. We would like to welcome Mr. Kraft to the news show today to talk to us about important events happening next week. Thank you, Mr. Kraft.
Hi, Stars. We have an interesting week next week. 2 holidays with really important reasons behind them, plus the end of the second quarter, which is going to have a special schedule. So listen up. Let me tell you how it's going to go. All right, let's start with Friday. This Friday is the end of the second quarter, which means teachers are getting ready for a new report card for you because we just got to the end of a grading period. So, Stars, if you've got some assignments still to do, do them. Do them this week so that it all counts towards your final grade for the end of the quarter. Friday's the last day of that. Good participation, like we said this week, to show that you're learning and you're engaged, and that can only help you. On Friday, we end the school day a little bit early, about 2 o'clock, depending on your schedule, and that is so teachers can get started on their grades and have a meeting with me. Now let's back up to Wednesday of next week. Wednesday is a student and teacher holiday because it is Inauguration Day. Inauguration Day is special. It only happens every 4 years when we get someone who was recently elected President and Vice President of the United States. So in Inauguration Day, there will be a swearing-in ceremony where the new president and vice president will swear to do a good job in their new role. They're going to swear to defend the Constitution, which is the laws of America, and commit to the next 4 years of their term until there's another election. On Inauguration Day, Joe Biden will swear in and officially become the new president of the United States, and Kamala Harris will officially become the vice president of the United States. Now, Mrs. Harris is pretty important because she is the first female vice president in the United States. She will also be the first African American vice president. She will also be the first Indian American vice president. So it's very historic this day, on top of being important anyway. So that will happen. That's Wednesday. Boys and girls, talk to your parents about it. We definitely encourage you as a patriotic American to watch the inauguration ceremony on television. It's everywhere. Now look, you may have listened to the news last week. There were some things related to the election that were disturbing and scary that happened at the Capitol. Here's kind of what happened. So the election happened back in November. That's when people came out and voted for president. Now it takes some time for each state in the United States to count those votes and officially certify the election. They did that. There are some people who didn't like the outcome and they challenged it. They made people recount. They tried to take cases to courts across the United States to see if the election was fair. It was. All of those challenges have been met. Things are official. Biden and Harris are the new president and vice president officially this Wednesday. Last week at the Capitol, Congress, which is a bunch of lawmakers representing all 50 states, they had a meeting like they usually do after an election so that they could officially recognize the results. Usually this meeting doesn't get much attention. This year it did, because there was a protest in DC for some people who did not like the outcome of the election. And it's fair to have a protest. Some people, though, took it too far and went to the Capitol building and caused all kinds of problems and committed criminal acts, basically, things that were very scary and very inappropriate. I want you to know that things like that rarely happen in the United States of America. This is not normal, and it's right to be a little scared and concerned about it, but know that this is not typically how it goes. Usually in our country, When there's a new president, even if they're from a different political party, it's peaceful. Some people don't like it and they'll express that, but it's peaceful. It's not people attacking the Capitol, but that did happen. The good news is, though, that it didn't work. What they did was unacceptable. A lot of them are getting arrested, the individual people who went too far, breaking stuff, stealing stuff, threatening people, hurting people. They're getting arrested and they're facing consequences. We probably won't see this kind of thing happen normally in the future because it's not normal in our country. But most importantly, it didn't work. Those people who came to the Capitol, they wanted to try and do something with that meeting of Congress to recognize the election results. All they did was put it on pause. All the lawmakers in Congress hid until law enforcement could get rid of those people. And then they came back into a meeting that same night, officially had that meeting, and we have a legitimate outcome, and the new president and vice president will start their job in Inauguration Day this Wednesday. Now let's talk about Monday. Monday is also a holiday, and the reason we have off is because it is an observation of the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an incredibly important and significant American. The reason we celebrate Dr. King, there's a lot of reasons, but let me just give you a few. Dr. King was someone who fought against racism, which was so obvious in America during his time. Laws, rules, the ideas in people's minds about how Black people, other people of color were not equal to whites, and laws that made life so much harder for minority people than for white people. These laws were obvious. It's the way things had been in America. And Dr. King summoned the courage to see that this was wrong, but more importantly, to do something about it, to organize other people, to stand up, recognize this was wrong, convince others it was, and take all these actions that would change so many of these laws and make things better. Now, let's be clear. We're not 100% successful with this yet. Racism still exists. But because of Dr. King, a lot of those laws from his time are behind us. But in the fight ahead, because we have to keep working on this, Dr. King's example of how to fight to change unfair laws and to take care of people, that's something that he leaves us with. See, Dr. King was all about peaceful protests. He was about unity. He was about putting a message out that brought other people into his ideas and promoted that if we make things more fair and help people who've been struggling and put upon, we help them rise up, it's actually good for everybody. His way was not to attack buildings, riot, cause destruction, hurt people. That's the wrong way to make positive change if you have a positive cause and you're positive people. Dr. King's a great example of how we in America use our First Amendment rights to make good change that is positive for everyone. So when you have off this Monday, please think about Dr. King, what he accomplished, and the way that he did it. It's good for us.
Hi, I'm Ian. This week's Positivity Project character trait was prudent. This weekend, put positivity in action by setting a goal for yourself and making a plan to achieve it. Please pause for the moment of silence and stand for the Coach Pledge and Pledge of Allegiance. Have a wonderful weekend, stars. Bye!